Shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Gareth Davies.
Well, thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I did wonder whether the Chancellor's announcement of changes to the fiscal rules would survive the weekend, given the 5 fictitious free ports that came and then went. It's a cautionary tale of the uncertainty and confusion that can be created when policy is not announced in the proper way in Parliament. I welcome the delayed statement by the Chief Secretary, and I'm grateful for the advanced sight of it. Madam Deputy Speaker, making a £50 billion announcement at a conference overseas and not at a fiscal event in this House has understandably and notably moved markets, adding further uncertainty to an already nervous business community. Although the Chancellor announced change last week, she didn't provide any details on what that change would be. This is a common approach by Labour. That is now coming back to bite them as the realities of government set in. The Prime Minister has admitted as much in recent days, speaking of the need to embrace fiscal reality by adopting measures which were never listed in Labour's manifesto. Never listed. In fact, the Chancellor explicitly said before the election that she would not change the fiscal rules because, in her words, this would be fiddling the figures. By going ahead with this latest U-turn and broken promise, the Chancellor's compromised trust and credibility ahead of her very first budget. This joins a long list of broken promises already by this Labour government in such a short period of time. The promise to cut energy bills by £300, broken. The promise that their manifesto was fully costed, broken. The promise to be on the side of pensioners, so obviously broken. And we know their promise not to raise taxes on working people is about to be broken too. Try as they might to sell a different story, just like government bonds right now, people ain't buying it. Because we are left in the ludicrous position where the UK, the 6th largest economy in the world, doesn't have an operative definition of public debt. Quite understandably, markets have responded to this latest uncertainty by applying a premium to the UK's sovereign debt at a time when it's been discounting the sovereign debt of our international peers. The markets are also perplexed as to why these changes were announced without an accompanying OBR report. In the words of the Chancellor herself, never have a government borrowed so much and explained so little. They may think that this will all go unnoticed, that most people don't know enough about what the fiscal rules actually are to know what's really going on here. But let me be very clear. The people will know about this. They will know it and feel it when interest rates stay higher for longer. Treasury advice to us was consistently clear that interest rates would stay higher if the rules were changed. So can he confirm what advice Treasury officials provided him of the impact on interest rates? And does he agree with Paul Johnson of the IFS, who said that this change will mean more debt interest, and that it's no free lunch? Of course, we all want to see investment in our public services and infrastructure. We oversaw the largest increase in funding for the NHS ever. We increased defence spending to the highest levels since the Cold War, and we attracted the 2nd highest foreign direct investment in the world. But this investment was always with a view to boosting productivity by investing in technology now scrapped by Labour, and by spreading opportunity around this country through free ports and investment zones. This Labour government are quick to spend, but unwilling to explain. So can I ask the Chief Secretary finally, on behalf of the British people and the markets who are watching this statement so very nervously, what definition of public debt is the UK offering to lenders today, and how much does the government plan to borrow under an expanded definition? I know he'll say that we have to wait for the budget, but the Chancellor didn't wait last week, so why should we?
Exactly.